And we are back on
Yes.
Fresh Brew this morning. Right, lovely. We had such a lovely session earlier where we had someone, our guest, to actually share with us on how to love yourself very, very well. But now it's time to love another thing, which is education.
And if
Lucky you got
are,
it right.
Exactly, I can read your mind, bro.
Lucky, yeah. No, it's not pre-planned anyways.
But yes, if you are looking for a place to study, or because when I was like finishing school, when I was finishing my SPM, I was wondering where should I go. There are plenty of options.
Of course.
There are to take your degree. There was to me, I took ADP. You can even take your O levels. You take your A levels.
Yeah.
There are so plenty of options. And another option that we might actually want to introduce to you guys is actually IB. Which is International Baccalaureate. I may have
Okay, well that
pronounced
sounds
it wrong.
fancy, isn't it?
I know, it's definitely fancy. And here we have on the set Dr. Vincent Chian, the principal of Fairview KL campus, to actually essentially explain to us what is IB. So welcome down.
Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is such a great campus.
Yeah.
I wish I was like 17, 18 again, and I could like.
No, I wish I was 10 and back in primary school because this is the life that I wanted before. But yeah, awesome stuff. Maybe, as what Zoe has mentioned, maybe Doctor, you can actually explain to our viewers at home what is IB, what is the International Baccalaureate is all about.
Okay, so thank you very much for having me on your show. The International Baccalaureate is a 51-year-old program, so it's been around for a little bit. It is an educational program that doesn't belong to any one country, so a lot of people think it's American or British. It holds no national allegiances. It's truly the only international one out there that's international. And it's also probably the most pedagogically advanced. So pedagogy is the way of teaching.
Right.
When we read teaching journals, we call that pedagogical journals. And pedagogically, it's probably the most advanced system out there. It comes in 3 parts. The primary school, we call it PYP for Primary Years Program. The middle school, we call it Middle Years Program. Very, very good names.
Well, it's on the dot, isn't it?
Yeah, I did points for creativity, but then there's the diploma program for kind of like the same ADP sort of arena, A-levels, just that pre-U. There's also a career-related program for that area, but that kind of looks like a vocational study. So these 3 programs put together are very, very powerful. So say, for example, the admissions director at MIT called it the best pre-university preparation in the world.
Oh, wow.
And the admissions director at Harvard even said, success at the IB equals success at Harvard. So, don't take it from me, but some other people, really big guys out there, have said this is the most powerful program out there.
I feel a bit left out here because you're from an ADP background. I'm an A-level kind of background. So did we miss the boat? Did we not get this information before?
I'm from an A-level background as well.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I totally understand. But what I can say is, it's a general rule of thumb. There are traditional education programs out there, practically all of them. And what they do is they prepare you for, sadly to say, an exam.
Yes.
All of them are very, very similar. They prepare you for exams. Some of them are trying a bit of homework, project-based activities nowadays. They're trying to move, but not so much. The IB focuses on preparing you for life. And so they have exams in there as well, but a lot of the work is incredibly meaningful and purposeful.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've actually heard of IB when I was in school, but to me, IB was a lot of when you talked about IB, right? There was a lot of correlation with international schools or private schools. So to the parents out there who are possibly looking at schools right now, what are some of the criteria that parents should look at if they choose to send their kids for an IB program?
An IB program? Well,
or an international school even.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll just do the international school first because that's kind of broader. I think one big advice I'd give all the viewers would be very careful in today's particular environment. In 2010, we had 66 schools, 50,000 kids.
Right.
Today, we have 171 international schools and still 50,000 kids. What this straight away tells you, there are less kids per school. In the next 5 years, we saw a massive expansion in the number of schools happen over the last couple of years, and we're going to see consolidation happening.
Right.
So I'm expecting a lot of parents to be telling me my school is here today and 5 years down the road, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of schools turned up simply because somebody wanted to inflate house prices. Some other schools bought a franchise and then put it in Malaysia and thought that might be a good money-making idea. Many schools are good schools. I'm not going to say all of them are doing that, but there are a lot of marketing ploys out there. So I'll give you what I look for an international school. All right. One, look for a school with a track record.
Okay.
So you need to have been around for a while. You need to have produced good academics. So all the good schools that I know of, they always publish their academic track records. You know, year on year, they're consistently producing good results.
If I may cut you
Yeah.
there a bit, what is a good time frame to actually admit that you had a good track record? 3 years, 5 years?
Well, in our school, we use a 4-year track record. So
4 years,
say,
okay.
for example, IB diploma, which is that top level over there, just before the students go over to university, we have a 36-point average for 4 years. So if I had a
Wow.
blip for 1 year, I could say, oh my gosh, I'm a really amazing 1 year. But I can average out 4 years and say my average for 4 years is 36. So that says a lot of things about a track record. A lot of schools say, oh, we have a bumper year, amazing score, but that's just a blip, my friends. So watch out for those things.
Okay.
The second thing I would look for an international school would be make sure your school has accreditations.
Yes.
Now, what are these accreditations? The MOE does some. We call it SKIPS. So there's a rating of 1 to 5 star. We've got our own SKIPS as well. We're 5 star on SKIPS. That's a nice one. There's another one called Cambridge Cambridge International Cambridge Examinations accreditation as well. That kind of allows the school to run the Cambridge exams. But it's very, very common. Practically all the schools have it. So it's not too difficult to obtain. Now, there's some really tough ones I'm going to tell you about. One would be the IB accreditation. So these guys come into the school, and for 3 days, they go into the classes. They check how your teachers teach. They're watching.
Wow.
They're talking to the kids. Did the teacher actually teach properly? So they won't just listen to management
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
they's guys. They'll say, kids, don't worry. Your teacher can't hear what you're going to say now. And they check the whole school inside out to make sure it's good.
Right.
So IB accreditation is powerful. There's another one called Council of International Schools, CIS.
So they
That's
don't
another
just
one as
give
well.
this away to any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, of course.
These evaluations are horrendous on schools. They're really
Right.
stressful. 3 days long, everybody's under pressure. But what they send is a signal to parents that the school is ready to commit to a higher standard beyond whatever else is in the market. Because if you walk into any international school, you just ask the principal, is your school a good school? Well, he's paid to say, yes, it
Obviously,
is.
Of
you're going to
course,
admit
yeah.
that,
Don't
right?
say anything else. So you have to lean on a couple of independent people, accreditors, to say this is a good place to be.
All right.
Wow.
And you can
Yeah.
only, show this off the proof of the achievements and the accreditations of what you yourself as principal has received throughout the years that you've been here.
Yes.
So, and also, can I assume that it has been great for your school here?
Oh, absolutely. We've had IB evaluate us for the last 10 years, and we are also Council of International School accredited as well.
Yeah.
So we're pretty comfortable with our accreditations. We know exactly why we're doing it. The IB one does what happens in the classroom, so they're really focused about classrooms. The Council of International Schools focuses on everything else that happens around.
Yeah.
So kind of things like child protection,
Yep.
data protection as well.
Yep.
How do we bill our parents? So both of these cover all the aspects of the educational experience, and I think it gives our parents that level of assurance that we know what we're up to.
All right.
Yeah.
I
So
do want
when
to ask one
actually,
more thing. Sorry, no, before that, I'm sorry. No, because it's
We
very
don't have
interesting.
time,
No,
Mio.
I know, but
You
just
can ask off camera, Mio.
just a quick one. IR 4.0.
Yes.
It's the most taught thing right now. A lot of people, education specifically, you want to make sure that you prepare your child towards IR 4.0. Your school, your comments on that. How are you playing in this role?
Absolutely. So I would probably say most people are focusing on the software, learn the coding, this and that. But this is really just the surface. What we really need to develop and what's going to take our students, our learners, our children to the next stage isn't just learning coding programs, because I guarantee you, by the time our kids graduate, the programs just changed. Now, there's the thinking that's important. There's 2 parts to this thinking. One is the skill of algorithmic thinking. We teach that in our classes, design classes. And the second one is, do you know how to connect science and math, science and arts, science and English? This is called interdisciplinary learning.
Right.
When we learn how to take a math issue and connect it with another subject automatically. In schools, you're taught science in science class, math in math
Yes.
class. And when you go out to real life, you suddenly realize, wait a second, I was supposed to connect these guys together, but I was never taught how to do it. In the IB programs, all of our programs connect constantly again and again and again. And this interdisciplinary thinking, that's what's going to help us in IR 4.0, because it's the merger between disciplines that are going to create new horizons. Hair products. Somebody's going to connect hair products with, say, cleaning solutions.
He looked
And
at me
that's
with
gonna
hair
create
product
amazing
stuff again.
Yeah.
I'm not offended.
Looked at your
No, I'm kidding.
direction.
Yeah,
your
exactly. He was
direction.
looking straight at me. No, I'm kidding, doctor. You're fine. You're good. but yeah, we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, trying to make that relation between two different things and actually make it into one. Awesome. I got my question out. You can ask.
Yeah,
me the
actually we
question.
are running out of time, so no more questions for you, Doc. But I just want to know that anyone who actually wants to visit Fairview, of course, it is still a school.
Yes.
So you can't simply, you know,
Just walk in.
come and walk in and view the syllabus, the curriculum activities and whatnot. Is there an open day for Fairview?
Absolutely. There are open days. Just check out on our Facebook page or contact us there. There are open days all the time. I think the next one's going to be up in March.
Right.
But check out the Facebook. The posters will come out through, and you can always just contact us over there. Little messenger will do just fine.
All right.
All
So thank
right,
you so much,
cool.
Dr. Vincent. We're
Thank you
gonna
very much, guys.
actually go and have a tour of the school
I can't wait
right
to do
now,
this, yes.
and we're gonna actually also be closing the show in just a little
All right.
minute.
We're going
So
to
don't
take a
go
break.